Hey folks, Tanner Trinity here with Devil's Lake Tours. I'm just checking in here after the long 4th of July holiday weekend. I know it's been about a week since we checked in on conditions, but hope everyone had a safe and happy 4th of July. Got out and got on a little walleye fishing, enjoyed some time with friends and family, lit off a few fireworks, whatever it may be. Hopefully we're able to press that internal reset button and enjoy some time outdoors. 4th of July is kind of that transition to our typical midday or midsummer bite, or as we like to always call it, the dog days of summer. Air temp gets warm, water starts to warm up, starts to see some of that algae bloom, which in our area is a great thing because it keeps our walleye bite consistent throughout the season. It really helps with that sunlight not penetrating down there and making that a morning and evening bite, where our walleyes in the summertime can bite all day long. And quite frankly, it's been one heck of a summer. What I wanted to touch on this week, as we're now in the first full week of July, of course, it's my favorite time of the year. We're pulling bottom bouncers and spinners or smile blades. Just depends on what you prefer. I grew up pulling spinners. I really like butterfly blades and smile blades now because of the different speeds that you can troll them at. But what I wanted to talk about is just two general rules of thumb. When you're talking bottom bouncer size, they always say 1 ounce per 10 feet of water, give or take. Kind of a personal preference there, but that's a general rule of thumb. And then speed, anywhere from 0.9 to 1.2 miles an hour. Really depends on the weather. If you get a cold front, you might have to slow that down a little bit and really just keep that bait right in front of the fish. Things are snapping, weather has been fantastic, and those fish are super active. You might have to speed it up and get them a little bit more pep in their step. But when it comes to trolling, what I wanted to touch on real quick here while I'm sitting in my office, it's been a little bit cooler and windier with a little rain here the last couple of days, so I haven't been on the water. But if you're looking for areas to target, there's one, I know I've talked about it before, one really handy tool, and that is Google Earth. We've got our historical imagery tab on here, which I pulled it back to the year 1990, 1991. This is the original lake bed. You can see Graham's Island here, out in the Minnewacan Flats, 6 Mile Bay. You can see all these old shorelines, which is going to be that 20 to 25 foot range, depending on where you are. And that right now is the areas you're going to want to target when you're pulling bottom bouncers and spinners. It's a great place to start, great way to cover water, and when you do start catching a few fish, mark those waypoints, keep working them back and forth, because when the going's good, it's good. Again, you can start pulling plugs, traditional crankbaits on lead core, and there are still guys catching walleyes shallow and also on slip bobbers. It's a fantastic time of year to be here. The walleyes are great. It's only going to get better as we move through summer, and I'm really excited to see what this fall has in store as those fish start to put the feed bag on. But irregardless, this is just one quick tip on what to utilize if you're coming to Devil's Lake in the next couple of weeks. Look for those old lake shorelines. And the other thing to try is also look for those rock piles. Those are also great areas to target when you're pulling bottom bouncers and spinners or ripping jig and ramps, whatever it may be. And one last thing, live bait has been a blessing when we get these days where it's cloudy, the water or the air temp drops 15 degrees. Seems like maybe the fish are a little bit more lethargic. Don't be afraid to throw in a crawler. Definitely, I really like using Berkeley Gulp when the bite is super good, when the fronts are pretty level. Seems like a great way you can catch 5-6 fish on one gulp versus getting bit by one walleye and having to rebait every time. But just a word of the wise, as we do get some of these cold fronts in July moving through, live bait does seem to help get that bite a little bit more active. Again, if you're out and about, use #DevilsLakeND, and we'll check in with you next week.